Hey guys, Tony Denaro here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking with you about ticker symbol MULN. The company name is MULN Automotive. This is yet another EV startup company. I'm going to be sharing with you some highlights of this company, my general thoughts about whether or not this company is a good investment, and why tomorrow, June 30th, might be a key date to watch for MULN. Let's get right into the information. First, we're going to take a quick look at the historical stock price of MULN and the overnight action going on this evening. MULN went public in November of 2021. Right here, it ran up to $15.90, trailed all the way down to a low of 52 cents in February of this year. And today, June 29th, it closed out the day at $1.13. Now, there is some hype about tomorrow, June 30th, so we are seeing a little bit of action in MULN stock after hours. It has recently run up to a high in the after hours of $1.33. You're going to want to pay attention to MULN in the pre-market tomorrow and during the trading day, and we're going to get into the why in just a minute. But let's go over some other details about MULN really quick. MULN currently has a short interest of 12.36%. The percent of free float on loan is 21.68%. Cost to borrow is 25%, and the utilization is 100%. Now, based on that very low short interest, only 12%, I'm not currently categorizing MULN as a short squeeze play, although you definitely could play it as a momentum play on news. And there might be some news coming out on MULN tomorrow, but you also need to weigh with that the fact that shareholders let this thing drop into the 50-cent range just a few months ago, and we're at $1.30 in after hours right now. So that's kind of your downside risk, 50 cents. Upside potential is quite high if there is good news on this stock in the several dollar range. Now, if you're not familiar with MULN, let's talk about some of their vehicles and what they have planned. In my book, this is still a very early stage startup company, and everything that I say about MULN in this video needs to be filtered through that lens. This is still a very highly speculative play. There's no guarantee that MULN will make it into full production, but let's talk about what they have going on and what the exciting news is coming up tomorrow. The MULN 5 here on the screen is going to be their flagship car for the retail consumer. The anticipated MSRP for the MULN 5 is going to be $55,000. The company is forecasting a range estimate of 325 miles on a full charge and 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds. The other prototypes that MULN is currently working on are a couple of EV cargo vans. The Class 1 commercial cargo van pictured here with a cargo capacity of 144 cubic feet, and the Class 2 commercial fleet van pictured here with a cargo capacity of 420 cubic feet. Additionally, they have this very nice concept car they are calling the Dragonfly. This one is probably a couple years away from being produced, but they are estimating a range of 236 miles and 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. The MULN Dragonfly is MULN's version of the Shantou K-50, a car that is currently being produced in China. And you should know that there is some ongoing controversy about whether or not MULN actually still has a relationship with Shantou. So this Dragonfly car may or may not ever come to be. But MULN still has the vehicle listed on their website and is taking reservations for it. The last items we're going to touch on real quick is where they are going to manufacture, and we're going to talk about their battery technology. I'm going to play this quick video clip while I'm chatting here. They do have a facility that they purchased outside of Tunica, 120,000 square feet for engineering validation and general assembly. It will employ, when it is fully staffed, 1,200 employees, and they have 100 acres for future expansion. One thing that I do want to highlight for you is something that many people overlook when they're considering an investment in MULN, and that is this date right here of when this factory is going to be online. Q3 of 2024. Yes, that is more than 2 years from now. So again, you need to consider MULN a very early stage speculative investment. They are not in any sort of full production. One thing that MULN is doing differently is their battery technology, and I'm going to put a link to their recent battery test in the video description for you, but let's talk about these lithium-sulfur batteries for a second. MULN is going a different direction than the rest of the industry that has lithium-ion batteries. According to their website, lithium-sulfur batteries use the same manufacturing equipment as lithium-ion, but with simpler steps and a smaller factory footprint, meaning less than half the cost to manufacture. And there are a lot of people that are excited about MULN just for their battery technology alone. So this is something to keep an eye on as further developments come out of MULN on their battery testing and the battery technology. I want to highlight to you that MULN does have an upcoming annual meeting of stockholders on July 26th. That's a little bit less than a month from now. And the key item that I want to direct you to on this is that they are going to be increasing the authorized number of shares of common stock to 2.25 billion, including preferred stock. So that will be 1.75 billion of the common stock and preferred stock, 500 million shares total, 2.25 billion. The current authorized shares of MULN stock is about 500 million, so this is a significant increase. The other item that I wanted to highlight to you that's going to be discussed on July 26th and voted on is this item number 5 here, the potential issuance of Series D preferred stock and warrants. Now, according to this Form 8-K filed on June 7th, 2022, referencing the Series D preferred stock, this is a deal for $275 million worth. And the actual number of shares that would be potentially issued of this Series D preferred stock would be dependent on the closing price of the stock preceding the purchase date, or $1.27, whichever is lower. But roughly you could figure that would be probably around 200 to 275 million shares of the Series D preferred stock. So what does all that mean? Why is it important? Why am I bringing it up? Well, if you are trading MULN either as a momentum trade or as a long-term investment, you do need to realize that this is a young company. They have a need for a lot of cash, and there is going to be shares approved and authorized into the market so that they can raise that cash. And you as a shareholder are definitely going to be diluted in your holdings going forward from today. MULN is still what we consider a pre-revenue company. They are not generating any meaningful income at this time. Due to the fundraising that they have done, they currently are holding about $65 million as of their last quarterly report in cash and cash equivalents. And you can see here on the statement of operations that they had a net loss in the last quarter of $32 million or 63 cents per share. Cash flow statement for the 6 months ending March 31st, 2022 shows a net loss for 6 months of $69 million. Now let's close out by talking about some news and why tomorrow, June 30th, could be a key date for MULN. Here in their newsroom, we can see 3 recent press releases. The first one on the right here, MULN extended maturity of senior secured convertible notes. This gives them a little bit of breathing room. They had some convertible notes that were coming up in July of 2022, and those have been pushed out 2 years to July 2024. In addition, here in the middle, MULN Automotive announces filing of U.S. and international patent applications to support their MULN 5 EV crossover, that first vehicle that we talked about. This is over 130 patents filed in 24 countries, demonstrating their intention to move forward with production of the MULN 5. And finally, on June 23rd, we had this update issued to shareholders by MULN Automotive. The highlights of this notice are as follows. They completed their battery testing. Again, that link will be in the video description. MULN delivered its first EV van under a pilot program to a telecommunications provider in the southeastern part of the U.S. on May 12, 2022. MULN did join the Russell 2000 and the Russell 3000 indexes on June 27, 2022. They've announced a test drive tour for fall of 2022, visiting over 15 cities in the United States. And finally, MULN's partnership with LGG, a Chinese battery development company, is on track, with both parties jointly scaling solid-state polymer battery cell technology with the objective of moving from the individual cell level to the vehicle pack level. And that is key to demonstrating that their battery technology works on a larger scale at the vehicle pack level, because up until now, all the testing has been done on individual battery cells. It does state here that the solid-state polymer batteries are envisioned for the second generation of the MULN 5 EV crossover. So again, important to note that if this battery testing and development does come through, it's not even going to be available until the second generation of the MULN 5. Now that we've gotten some of the due diligence out of the way, I want to talk with you about why June 30th, tomorrow, might be a key date for MULN. What has all the MULN investors excited? Whether or not this is going to actually happen tomorrow, I guess we're going to have to wait and find out together. But back on March 30th, in an interview with Benzinga, the MULN CEO David Michery said that a major Fortune 500 company would be announced as a partnership with MULN for a pilot program, and that he would announce that in Q2. Tomorrow is the last day of Q2. So, David Michery, the ball is in your court, my friend. Are we going to get an announcement tomorrow? And is this going to be the announcement that sends MULN stock on its next leg up from $1.30?
Again, we released the public information not too long ago that we're going to be delivering our Class 1 vehicle in the second quarter of this year. We're excited about that. We can't disclose to who. That hasn't been publicly made available yet, but we plan on doing that shortly, and we plan on announcing that it is a very large company that is going to buy a lot of these vehicles.
Is that order confirmed? Or, that's not like a pre-order, right? That's like a signed seal.
No. We're actually building for them. So
okay,
we're excited. We're going to deliver the pilot vehicles to them in the second quarter, as we stated, and we're excited about it. This is a major Fortune 500 company. I'll put it that way.
If you had to ballpark it, because Q2 starts on Friday, if you had to ballpark it, would you say like earlier Q2 or later Q2?
Oh, I don't want. It's going to be in Q2. We're going to turn it into a press event. I promise. We're gonna make it. Everyone will know, and they will see, and they will be part of it.
So if we get this announcement from David Michery tomorrow with MULN, there could be a chance for a momentum trade. And in light of that, I do have some call options on MULN with July and August expirations, a $2 strike. I've not yet found for myself a reason to buy MULN stock and hold it for the long term, considering they still are a couple years away from any meaningful production and meaningful revenue. However, there are definitely opportunities, as we have witnessed in the past, for some momentum trades on MULN based on good news. The final thing that I want to leave you with is a copy of this Hindenburg research report, just so that I give a fair presentation of both the bullish and bearish case for MULN. I'm going to put a link to this in the video description. Hindenburg calls MULN a fast-talking EV hustle, a shell of a company, a sham of a company. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I do suggest that if you are considering a long-term investment in MULN, that you at least read through this research report so that you have the full picture of the bull case and the bear case in MULN Automotive. Let me know down in the comments, do you like MULN? Do you hate MULN? Do you own any MULN stock? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? I want to hear your thoughts. I am Tony Denaro. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to buy and hold that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.